Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be talking about Chiron in the houses, and in this video we're talking about Chiron in the 4th house. Okay, so having your Chiron in the 4th house. And before we get into this, if you enjoy my readings, you certainly could book a reading with me. All you have to do is email me at samastralreadings@gmail.com. That's samastralreadings@gmail.com, and I do birth natal chart interpretations as well as tarot, and both at the same time. All you have to do is email me and we could go forward with that. So getting back into the video, okay, and this is Chiron in the 4th house. All right, the first thing I can say about Chiron in the 4th house is that this is intense, okay, very intense. And the reason why I say that is because Chiron, of course, is the wounded healer, so that's intense in general because it's a wound and it's painful. However, when you take this painful energy and you put it into a water house, okay, a water house, 4th house is the Cancer house, okay, the house of Cancer. That water energy just makes it more like I wouldn't say more painful, but more deeper, more emotional, more painful to it, like in a certain sense, because it's pain. Like Chiron is painful or wounding anywhere, but the water's houses add that extra deep layer to it that I do have to say is very intense. And because water houses are all about healing, they automatically deal a lot of times with emotional pain and stuff like that, because you have to heal in the water houses. Our emotions are all over the place, they're not perfect, our families, all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of shadow work. So when you put Chiron in here, it's like it's forcing you to get into that shadow work, okay? It's gonna bring out all the emotions here because the emotions intensify this Chiron energy that's already dealing with wounds, okay? This water energy intensifies it, brings that emotional depth. So this can be very, very painful. This can lead to depression and stuff like that, okay? Because the 4th house is our emotional development, okay? This is how we emotionally develop. This is so important because this is our psychology. How our family raises us will not determine who we are as a whole, but it will determine a lot of our psychology and how we build relationships with other people, because this is the first form of relationships that we've built, which is our family. So there's a strong influence, especially on a psychological level. So when you put the Chiron in here, you know, it's forcing you really to deal with the wounds and the pains that are put upon you by your family. And because it's your family, it just makes it that much more wounding, more painful, because this is who you've grown up with. This is who is emotionally developing you. This could be anything like family abuse, okay, the family abusing you, whether it be physical, verbal, mental. This could be family neglect, okay, the family neglecting you, leaving you out, just out there, not really taking care of you, neglecting your needs, manipulation within the family, death within the family that could have caused a real eternal pain, okay? Many different types of manifestations, psychological abuse from the family, okay, brainwashing from the family, pain from the family, okay. So this can manifest in many ways, but again, very painful because this is your family. You have to understand, you can't, your 4th house, you're so deeply into it because again, this is your emotional development. You can't run away from your family. You got to reach a certain age to be independent, okay. So, and the fact that you have to get away from them could just be trauma within itself, is a problem within itself. Serious wound, okay, and affect you in your relationships, in your psychology, how you think, how you trust, who you give your trust to, who you build relationships with, okay. You can repeat that same pattern and have more abusive, unhealthy relationships because this is what you know, okay, this is where you come from. So it's so important to take this placement very seriously. Well, you have no choice because it's going to force you. There's no way you can ignore a Chiron in your 4th house. No way you can ignore that. Okay, that is pain within the family, and your family is your emotional developer. Okay, they're here from you on the early days and you're with them so often. So the abuse is very intimate and intense. So definitely something to understand. Also, this can be very, very sensitive people. People with Chiron in the 4th house can be very sensitive. And this is because of the pain that they have to deal with their families, okay? 4th house family. So because of this, these people are very sensitive emotionally. There could be very easy triggers with this people. Triggers easily with these people because of the pain that they're going through with their family. So these people are emotionally sensitive. They get triggered easily, depressed. You know, these people need healing. Chiron in the 4th house, you know, they need healing. And the sensitivity here could be, you know, a problem. And there's nothing wrong with being very sensitive because it's justified. You have Chiron in the 4th house. So I'm not necessarily saying that you being very, very sensitive is a problem. Think of a wound. A wound is painful. You know, you pick at it, pick at it, pick at it, pick at it, you know, but this is a wound that deals with the person's emotions, their heart, their soul. That's the deepest part of a person. So if that deep part is sensitive, there could be very little grounding. You're not grounded, okay? You're in a constant state of uncomfort, emotional uncomfort. So that makes a person very, very sensitive. So trusting people, emotionally closed to trusting people. When you come from a painful family, family is our fallback. That's what we know. That's the people who take care of us, who raised us. It should be our main support system, our fallback system. When you can't fall back on your fallback, on your fallback system, on your support system, you're meant to believe that there is none. Okay, so these people can have a hard time trusting other people. They couldn't even trust their own families. So they could have hard time connecting. And even if it's not the family's fault, maybe it's a death from the family that caused pain. Because of that pain from the death of the family, these people may not want to connect with other people that much because they might go away too. You know, it's the pain from that stays with them. So also these people can get into really toxic relationships, okay? With Chiron in the 4th house, this type of pain, because it was in your 4th house, which is your family, it was normalized. It's almost normalized. This is why it's so important to understand and do the deep shadow work here, because when your family is like abusing you versus other areas in life, the family can hurt to a point where it psychologically damages you because, like I said, this is supposed to be your support system. And not only that, this is the first people you're making relationships with. You know, so this is what you've grown up with. So this could have been normalized. So you go out into the world creating toxic relationships because that's what you grew up with. So Chiron, the 4th house, could make you have other toxic relationships because that's all you know. You've normalized this type of behavior. Okay, that's why, again, it's so important. Do the shadow work because you will be making decisions that reflect the pain that came from your family. And you got to fix that. You got to look into that. You got to heal that. And we'll get into how you do it, actually. But you got to do that healing so that you don't go out there making all these chaotic, painful relationships because that's all you know and you're used to. Let's get into the shadow work. You need to do shadow work. What is shadow work? People say it all the time. Shadow work is going deep into your emotions and letting them out and understanding them. Okay, that's shadow work. It's that deep, dark, dirty, it's doing the dirty laundry. So with 4th house and Chiron, with your Chiron in the 4th house, people, you need to look into your emotions. I don't care if you normalized it. I don't care if you're shut down. You need to look into your emotions because they are working. Whether they work consciously or subconsciously, they are working, and that's why you're getting into bad relationships. You need to look into your emotions, feel them out. Take some time by yourself alone, okay? And feel the pain. Feel all the pain that you've gone through. Feel them so that you can understand them, understand where they're coming from, and then you can work on fixing it. But you have to feel it. Shadow work is very emotional. You gotta feel it. You gotta cry. You gotta look into those dark emotions that you don't want to. Look into those dark emotions. That's the incidents that happened in your family that really were painful. and allow that pain to release. Allow it to release. Understand it wasn't your fault. This is an energy that was brought upon you. Okay, nurture yourself. Forgive yourself. Chiron, the fourth house people, forgive yourself. This was your family. This was where you were grown, or the lack of family, honestly. You couldn't control that. So you have to look into that deep pain, that inner child who's crying because they're getting neglected, they're getting rejected, they're not getting any emotional support. Cry with that child. I want you to imagine you're carrying your little child self, the little version of you, and imagine you holding that and just rocking it. You allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to tear, but simultaneously nurture yourself, okay? Because that's what you have to do. You allow those emotions, those dark emotions to release. Not only are they released, but you also have clarity, you understand where they come from, and then you can make the better decisions, the higher vibrating decisions. You know that this isn't a good relationship, this is not what you should tolerate, because you went into your emotions. You know the pain, you know where that pain's coming from, you know why you're making these decisions, these relationships, because it comes from that pain. But because you know it, you have addressed the pain and you allowed the pain to release, you're no longer a slave to it. Seriously, I know it seems funny, but I'm serious. It would really help you understand, because these are childhood wounds and they are legit, okay? That's why adults act like children, because that childhood never goes away. The traumas, the experiences, whether good or bad, they don't go away. They're part of you. But the more darker emotions we like to ignore, but then they're going to start acting in a subconscious way. So that's why you get into bad relationships and all that type of stuff. You never really healed and addressed that family issue. So you want to do it by doing the shadow work. So important. Chiron, the fourth house, do shadow work, okay? Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to go through those painful emotions throughout your family. Imagine the kid version of yourself, and I want you to rock it like a baby. So important to do shadow work with Chiron, the fourth house. Also, with this placement, and this is why I also say do shadow work, be careful when creating families, okay? When you go out with a partner and you create your own family, if you did not do that healing, you can bring that energy down, okay, into your family. So those same issues you dealt with, it gets now passed down to your family. So again, it's important to do the shadow work, not only to heal yourself, but also to not create more and more of generational karma. You know, doing the same thing to your kids that your parents did to you. You know, you want to do the shadow work so that you truly can raise your kids differently as well too when you create a family, if you decide to go that route. The thing about Chiron and wounded healers, that you can also heal other people. So once you do this deep healing of yourself, obviously you're going to be able to heal other people. Okay, you're naturally intuitive with this placement, so you can feel people easily, and you'll be able to heal other people with their emotional wounds. And I'm talking about any type, because Chiron, the fourth house, that family wound, that goes for anything. That's like depression, anxiety, emotional insecurities, attachment issues. Okay, Chiron, the fourth house people, if you didn't get that emotional security, a lot of times you guys could be very thirsty for it. Again, that's creating the bad relationships. So you want to, again, you know, do that shadow work, clear that energy. You will be able to heal other people. You'll be able to help other people. This is a good placement for psychology, for therapy, okay, for healing people in the deepest level, because you've done it to yourself. It's a very powerful placement. You have to understand the fourth house Cancer is a healing placement, because this is where you can dive into your emotions. Okay, so these people are incredible healers. They can really sense energy. They have a great intuition. These people can heal at the deepest level. So powerful healers. And it's a powerful placement for a reason. The pain is great. It's very strong. It's deep. But just as deep the pain is, so is the healing. So once you heal, it's a really strong healing, and you'll feel yourself so much better, and you'll be able to heal other people. This is a strong placement because this can heal generational karma, because everyone doesn't do their Chiron. Some people just let their Chiron go and it's whatever, it's a bad place. But if you actually choose to challenge to heal yourself, which is what Chiron wants you to do, is to heal yourself. If you do that, you do some of the most amazing healing. I'm telling you, it's transformative healing. It's amazing. You can heal people to the deepest level. This is the deepest healing you can have. It's just a soul healing. So definitely get into that shadow work. Please don't do it. You have to with this placement. You need to do that shadow work. You will be so healed. You'll feel so much better. And then you'll also be able to heal other people. And if you decide to make a family, you'll be changing the generational direction. You'll be healing it. You'll stop that type of toxic energy. So this is the placement that can stop generational curses and karma that pass through the family. This is a very powerful healing placement, but also very challenging. But if you take the challenge, you can do one of the most greatest healings in the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, you could book a reading with me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I'll certainly get back with you. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.